Now, we all know football is America's most popular sport right now, and a lot would have to happen in a short time for people to just totally stop watching. In college football, we've seen monumental shifts with NIL and the transfer portal, but people still watch in droves, and it's only getting more popular. We've seen the NFL add games, change their playoff structure, move teams, and people are still nuts about it. But if there are any existential threats to football's overall popularity, I believe they include these two things. One, taking political stances or denouncing patriotism. The only thing people are more passionate about than their football team is their love for their country or their political affiliation. We see it all the time. We saw it with the Kaepernick situation, taking knees during the national anthem. This kind of showed a little bit of a chink in the overall armor of football. And there are people that are still now just coming back to the game because of it. The second existential threat is changing the rules of the game so much that the game becomes unrecognizable. Football is a gladiator sport, and to be honest, we love it because of the brutality and the physicality. It's our strongest and fastest men running into each other at full speed. The more we try to control the brutality of the collisions, the more we are sacrificing to the overall essence of why we're attracted to the game. Now, we're seeing those changes with the new rules on how to tackle someone. You can't really hit them anywhere, and now you can't tackle them from the side or behind because you'll get accused of a hip drop tackle. If you even whisper at a quarterback or blink at him twice before a Friday, they send you straight to Guantanamo Bay now. And yesterday, they just announced a total overhaul to kickoffs. Now, I get trying to be safer, and there are ways through equipment to mitigate some risk. But we don't need to sacrifice the physicality of the game for safety. These guys know when you sign up to play what risks that come along with it. It's one of the reasons they get paid so well. We pay people more to do dangerous jobs. Just ask underwater welders or astronauts who we really just strap to a bomb to shoot to a place we don't know where anything is. Now, these are the only two things that, in my opinion, can bring down what is by far and away America's present time. And I hope we don't totally destroy our game in the name of quote unquote saving it. We're bringing former quarterback David Cone, former Michigan quarterback David Cone, former Western State Colorado wide receiver Blaine Crane. And David, again, I'm not saying we don't adjust as new equipment comes along where we can lessen the blow to people's heads when they get hit hard. But now, with the new kickoff rule, with all we're seeing, with trying to mitigate every single risk, we're going to shelter ourselves out of the sport. I really believe that. That's one of the two biggest threats of a nuclear destruction.
Well, I'll be saying my piece on this on a certain segment a little bit later.
Yeah.
But
I didn't mean to steal any of your thoughts.
But like old school, I really have nothing else to add. That answer was
blacked out.
Perfect. I think everybody should be standing up applauding Jake Crane right now for that answer. But it really is true, and it's not just happening in football. This pursuit of safety is happening in all forms of life. I think the book, The Coddling of the American Mind, does a great job of breaking this down. It's just extra weird to see in a sport that is the modern-day gladiator sport. Where you're supposed to run
that and UFC, right? You would say those two.
True, yeah. But I mean, it's like, I can't believe what I'm hearing when I hear things like, lessening contact or, limiting the contact that you have running down on kickoff. It really is kind of crazy to hear. The big thing, too, is like, I understand the NFL wants to open up to new markets, expand in Europe and Asia and get, a billion more eyeballs on the game.
I want Crane and Company to expand in Asia.
I would love that as well.
Oh, they love us in North Korea.
I am learning Mandarin. I'm learning Japanese so that I can be Shohei's new interpreter.
Oh, I'm
but
so sorry.
You're never going to...
He's so sorry.
Yeah, that's a good start. You're never going to out-soccer soccer for the rest of the world. Yeah. You already have soccer. So, look, you can make it two-hand touch. You can turn it into flag football. The rest of the world has already fallen in love with soccer. Keep what Americans love about football.
And Blaine, maybe we need to explain to people who don't know. I know we have clips of the new kickoff and stuff like that. But isn't it ironic that this is just how ass backwards we are right now? I want everybody to just think about this for a second. We're taking kickoff, basically the collisions out of kickoff with the new rule for the name of safety, right? It's all about safety. Let's get safer. Let's protect everybody. But there's some people that think dudes should play in women's sports.
Man.
Yeah.
Like the high school girl in volleyball was like paralyzed on one side of her body. But they're like, no, let guys play in sports, but let's be safe when guys are playing each other. But when guys are playing girls,
Yeah,
now that's even.
I don't even want to walk down that road right now. But you talk about player safety. One, can we start wearing knee pads and putting mouthpieces in? And we're going to talk about player safety?
It's a thing of the past.
I go, first of all, I don't want to hear that ass excuse. And two, I've said what's going to happen. I can see it down the line.
The robots?
It's going to be robot football. Sooner
How
or
would
later,
we feel about
sooner
that?
or later, all right, the safety of players is going to get so to the extreme that humans aren't going to play football. All right, humans will control robots who play football. Then the safety's out of it.
Will that be better?
You can do whatever. You
But
can
then-
rip their arms off.
But then the robots unionize and they sign a collective bargaining
Look,
agreement.
at that point,
because they're being
we're
sued.
screwed
anyway.
They're being
right.
no,
sued.
but
I watched an Amazon robot.
Have you seen
work
Ex Machina?
the other day.
would people like if it was robots playing each other? Like if you had
Yes, they would.
Like every safety was the same.
Do you like
size.
Real Steel, the movie?
Yeah,
You
but like,
do,
but
don't
like
you?
you couldn't have that human element is so important because like that's the storyline. Nobody's gonna
it's
care
not.
about R2D3 from Factory X.
R2D3.
Yeah. Dude, like
D3 football.
I think people will watch it regardless if it's. I think they'll watch it even more. If you're telling me if that thing from that
Well, let's
NFL
ask
commercial,
everybody out there.
NFL commercial, I don't know which one it is with that huge ass robot before it comes on the
I know
show.
what you're saying. Fox.
A fox. All right, you wouldn't watch 11 Optimus Primes
Have you ever
fight the
you guys ever
Decepticons
seen
on
the
a
movie?
Saturday at 2:30
Have you guys ever seen the movie
On CBS.
on CBS.
Hey, but like
Autobots versus
here's the
Decepticons for the
thing.
SEC
We don't have a guest
championship.
today. We don't have a guest today. The line's open at 7:15 a.m. Central. All right, 8:15 a.m. Eastern. I want to know out there, would you love, let's say Auburn was playing Florida. There'd be no recruiting.
No, this isn't going down to college.
No.
And the thing about it is you don't have to pay them.
No, I'm talking about across
No,
the
that's
board.
what I'm saying. They
You
just
don't have to pay
congrats.
guys.
They just collectively
Guys.
bargained, and the circuit
Well, we'll
court judge
collectively
just
all
said that
pull
they
the
have
plug
rights.
out of the wall.
Well, then it just becomes about the player. Like all of a sudden, like all these like Sketch and all these other people are like the coaches at like
no,
Florida
like
State.
the fans, like there's a league right now, I can't remember, some arena league where the fans call the plays of the game. Like
What?
sooner or later, people will control the robot. It's like it's gaming. It'll turn into gaming.
I
want people. I want to
You
know.
seen Ready Player One?
Would people?
Yeah, I've seen
would
Ready
people
Player
be
One.
as jazzed up if they were robots playing on Saturdays and Sunday? I'm talking about all across the board. I'm talking about college football and the NFL. We want to know what you think. 1-855-236-3228. We're going to get to the chat too here in a second. But David, let's explain to people the rules real quick. The new kickoff rule.
Yeah, well, just
Let's-
take a look.
Yeah, let's
I
put
can't
this clip
explain it
up.
because it would take the whole 90-minute
Yeah,
episode.
so I'm trying to put my special teams hat on. So basically, they're just running a play. They're just running a play. That's what it is. I always used to explain to our guys, kickoff and kickoff return is nothing but an offensive and defensive play, just from further away. There's still a run fit.
Sure.
It's a run play. You have counters, right? You have boundary runs. You know, you have reverses, things like that. So basically, the kickoff team is now starting at the opposing 35, and the kickoff return team is starting at the 30. So it eliminates that drop and that full speed running down, which to me, there's a beauty, right, in being able to let a guy run down and work the twists and things like that. Let's just run a clip of this. If you're on audio, that's the best way I can describe it. This is from the XFL. Let's play it. You can see it's just a run fit. The ball's kicked, depending on where the ball lands, is whether you can return it or not. And it's just a play. You're never going to return it. There's not going to be touchdown.
That's
return.
how kickoffs happened when football was invented. None of us would have a problem with it.
Yeah.
Again, it's the constant changing of the rules and this pursuit of safety that you're never going to get there. You're never going to get there unless it's robots playing each other.
Yeah.
Like unless you take people out of the game completely.
Yeah, and now with the hip drop tackle, I mean, you can't tackle people. I'm supposed to now like try and tackle Tyreek Hill or these witches. Like I have to be just perfect in every single thing I do defensively. It's just
Or how about the big guys?
it's an impossibility.
How about the 6'5" tight ends? Like that's who you're trying to bring down at an angle.
Yeah, well, again, I'm just
that is true.
at this point, it's just trying to get anybody down is a challenge. So, I mean, I don't know. I feel like again, this is one of the two existential threats we have for the game of football. Hey, YouTube, what's up? Hit that subscribe button. We're closer to 100 trillion subscribers. We're trying to get there before the end of April, because if not, then the Klingons are coming, and we're the only thing that can save you. So make sure you hit that like button, subscribe button.